Do you want a simple to use approach to removing friction in your task management app and your task management workflow? Great. I'm glad you said yes because today, I am going to share with you 3 steps that you can apply and that I apply to your task management app just like I do and my workflow so that I continuously improve it. Task management workflows like everything else in our life requires us to maintain the system. But maintenance in this case is removing friction. Now, let me be clear. I don't use more time maintaining than use doing. My system is set up to support me completing the next actions I have to get done, that rebuild and help me reach my priority goals. And if you want to know these 3 steps, stick with me. I'm going to share them tonight, and you will be able to apply them if you choose to. But before I get into all of that, I want to say hello to some folks who are out here in the building tonight, and then we're going to hop right into the message, the content today. So let's see who is with us getting started. And while I'm doing that, grab a pen and a pad so you can take some notes. So, of course, we have moderator Frank Jackson in the building with us. Hello, hello. Glad to have you here with us this evening. And we have the emotional CEO. I was about to change your name, sir. Yes, happy Friday, Live Tribe. The Friday Live Tribe. So glad to have you here. And those of you who are watching and not commenting, glad to have you in the building as well. When you get an opportunity, feel free to drop a comment, leave an insight, ask a question. I'll be glad to have you. And if you're listening or watching to the replay, glad to have you along. Leave a comment or a question in the comment box, and I'll definitely respond to you. So I'm excited about this topic because it fits into what I call my plan, do, review cycle. Everything in my world I approach with these plan it, do it, review what I did, and I continuously evolve in that way using some system that I set up for nearly everything. Nearly, I'll say there are some things I don't, but nearly everything I set up a cycle of not only doing, but planning what I'm doing and going to do and intend to do. And all of that gets wrapped up in and improved through me reviewing it, me assessing and figuring out what I can do to remove friction and get better. And I hope you want to do the same thing in your system for you to achieve goals. So I'm going to talk about 3 things that you can do to get there. And let's hop to number 1. Number 1 is start with categorizing your areas of responsibility. That means break them down, list them out. And I'm going to share, first of all, look at your job or your business. So if you're a corporate W-2 employee, look at the areas of responsibility in your job, break those down. If you're a business owner, look at your areas of responsibility in your business and break those down. For those of you who fit neither of those categories, you may fall into the following category. You have multiple jobs. You have maybe a full-time job and a part-time job, or 2 full-time jobs, however you want to do it, 2 part-time jobs. You have multiple jobs, and maybe those multiple jobs have different areas of responsibility. Categorize the areas of responsibility in both of those jobs. And it doesn't require you to use any special tools. I'm going to go back. A journal, a notebook, a notepad will work. Something simple, but sit down, spend a few minutes, make those categories, lay out those categories. There's another person who has the following. You have multiple businesses and you have different roles within those multiple businesses. Let's say one business is more mature than the other. Maybe one is just getting started. One business is just getting started. One business is very mature, different brand. You have one business, but maybe you have multiple brands within that one business. Or you have multiple offers that you're working and they require something slightly different from you. Categorize all of those areas of responsibility. You also may have the following. This is sometimes you can, and all of these pretty much you can call bifurcational, except the very first one. You have maybe a full time corporate role somewhere in a company, and you have a part time business. Each of those have categories, areas of responsibility. Categorize them regardless of which camp you're in, one, two, three, or more than one. Take the time to do exactly that. Categorize your areas of responsibility. Make the list. Just simply make a list of categories. Examples may be um, you're the project manager, you're the your career coach, you're for some people, or you're a supervisor, or you have a weekly report you must do for to submit. Whatever the categories are, you're responsible for the accounting or the payroll or the design. Those categories are buckets of work that fit into your life. Now, also, don't forget your family, your home, your family, categorize those as well. Maybe you're responsible for cooking and cleaning. Someone else in the family is responsible for doing the laundry. So that's not on your plate, but grocery shopping is on your plate. Or cleaning certain rooms is on your plate and other rooms is not on your plate. So categorize whatever those areas are even in your family. The last piece is always remember your volunteer service or community service. Maybe you have one or more things you're doing in volunteer service. Categorize what your responsibilities are there. Again, this is all about step one in this how to handle getting control of your task management and improving your workflow is categorizing all your areas of responsibility. And I start this way because it is so easy to just think my business is one big thing. It's just one big blob. My job is one big blob. My home life or personal life away from my job or my business is one big blob. But for all of us, they're not one big blob. There are pieces and parts, or as I call it, buckets that I'm responsible for and other buckets that I'm not responsible for. And indeed, there may be things that I think are important for me, but in another situation, someone else wouldn't think that's important for them and they wouldn't pay attention. So creating those buckets or categories so you can actually see them on paper, as I say, make it objective so you can see it and not just think it or not solely feel it. If you feel how you're doing or how your work is broken out or your areas of responsibilities are, make it objective so you can see it as well. So that's number one. First step before you can even start thinking about how do I make this, how do I improve it and make it better, is figuring out what you're trying to make better, right? Because if you don't know what all these buckets are, you're gonna miss them. You're gonna miss something. I see you out there, David Hunt and Mike Fleming. So glad to have y'all in the building with me this evening. The second step we want to get to is now that you got these categories, as you are working and performing next actions or tasks in these various categories, diarize what friction. What do I mean by that? I mean, write it down. Keep a journal, keep an index card, use your notes app, whatever you use to capture. We've talked about capturing notes, capturing ideas, whatever you use to capture those points of friction. When you run into it, when you experience it, when you say, ooh, I don't like the way this worked, write it down. Or, ooh, I was trying to do this and it didn't work the way I thought it was going to work. Or if I could just fill in the blank, this thing that I'm doing, this task that I'm doing, this next action that I'm following would go so much smoother. Here's an example. I ran into this literally this week. I have it set up so that when guests are going to be on the show here on Purpose and Productivity. By the way, welcome to Purpose and Productivity. The guest goes to an online booking system and books the appointment for our tech check. And I had it set up to automatically for the booking tool to create the Zoom meeting, attach the Zoom meeting to the calendar invite, and send the guest the calendar invite with the Zoom link in it. Something broke. So I had a tech check on Wednesday and I got the appointment and I went to go into the meeting to click on the Zoom link and there was no Zoom link. So that meant I needed to manually create the Zoom link, send it to the guest as well as me. Well, I would have it. That was a point of friction, so I wrote it down rather than dealing with how to fix it in the moment. I just wrote it down. I diarized it. Like, not only did I immediately fix it, but what do I need to do later on to make sure this doesn't happen again? This whatever caused that breakage so that it doesn't happen again and I don't experience or a show guest doesn't experience. They've got in a meeting with me, but they have no way to connect. They don't have the meeting, the Zoom link or the virtual meeting link to get in. And so now they're wondering, and this is literally what happened. The person is wondering, are we really meeting? Because I don't know how I'm going to reach you. So that's an example of when you run into something that's a piece of friction in your workflow, in your task system, just diarize it, write it down, capture it someplace. Now, once you're capturing all this stuff, you're going along and maybe another example, you run out of ink in your ink pen and you don't have, another ink cartridge to stick in the ink pen. It doesn't matter. It can be big, it can be small. It can really be anything, no matter how small or how big that point of friction is. Capture it. Now, once you're writing all of the stuff down in a consistent place, not all over the place, in a consistent place, take the time during your weekly review to look through all of those items. Because when we're capturing in the moment, we're not fully fleshing out what that idea is or what that friction is. We may just write a couple of words, but we don't fully think it all the way through. So once a week, review that list, whatever you've captured. And in during your review, that means you're looking at it, you're reading it. What did I write? Expand that list for your future self. In other words, write those ideas down so that in 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years, when you see it again, your future self will thank you because you don't have to refigure out what the heck you were trying to say. So rewrite and expand on whatever those items are so that your future self will thank you and be glad that you did. Then, when you are ready and you want to take some of this off, you're going to choose 1 or 2 items to fix. If you've written down 20 points of friction, please, oh, please, oh, please, I beg of you, do not attempt to fix all 20. Pick 1 or 2. Keep it manageable so that you can move forward in a systematic way, and I'm gonna talk about how to do that here in a minute, and not spend so much time fixing your system that you're not getting done your priorities. Remember, for me, and I use this process, my system supports me accomplishing the things I wanna accomplish. My system is not there solely for me to just continuously tweak it and play in it and fix it and do everything. I'm focused on getting things done that I wanna get done that are a priority for me. Sometimes more successful than other times, in all transparency. I'm not always super great at it. I'm pretty good at it, though. This is my second, is just capturing that stuff, reviewing it weekly, rewriting it or expanding on it so that when I look at it sometime in the future, I know what the heck I was talking about. And when I'm ready to take action, I pick 1 or 2 items. I don't pick all 20 or 30 or 50. I pick 1, maybe 2, no more than that. And those are the ones I focus on. Those 1 or 2 I focus on to fix. This is gonna go quick tonight, y'all. And if you have comments, please drop them in the comment box because I wanna make sure that we have a dialogue about this very topic tonight. And also, if you have questions, put your questions in the comment and I will be glad to answer them. I feel like something is in my eye. Forgive me. The last step, step 3, is then this is gonna maybe be um really a little different for you, but I call it productizing my updates. So productize your updates. What in the world does that mean? It means treating my productivity system and you treating your productivity system or your task management system, your workflow, like it is a product. Just like products we buy, software we buy, clothes we buy, other products we buy, they go through an iteration. They go through upgrades and updates. So productize your own task management app or system, whether it's full paper, full digital, or hybrid. Treat that workflow like a product. Now, this means a couple of things I'm going to encourage you to do, which is what I do. Plan your changes and updates on a cycle. Earlier, I said review them weekly, but that doesn't mean you're making changes every week, every day, or even every month. Plan when you're going to implement these changes to fix those friction points. The 1 or 2 that you wrote down or you selected and said, this is the next 1 or 2 that I want to tackle. And then set up a release plan. Every major software product that we use has a release plan. When Apple does, we know June, we're going to get WWDC. We're going to get an announcement in September. Those are not accidental. They're intentional and they're planned. They know exactly going into it what they're going to release to the public, what they're going to tell us they've done, and what's going to come for us and be available to us. We're just as important in our own lives. So plan our updates on a cycle, whether that's every month, once a quarter, once every 2 weeks. Figure out what that is for you For me, it's about every 2 weeks. I'm not trying to do more than that unless something really unusual happens, and then I'll do a hot fix. We'll talk about that later. But this idea of having a product release schedule for your own system, and you're the only one who has to know about it. But plan what that cycle is, which gives you enough time from one to the next to say, yeah, I picked this one or two. Now, what do I need to do? What's my steps to go through and fix this? Using the example that I talked about on Wednesday, I could immediately go in and find what broke and reconfigure it, which take like 2 minutes. But the bigger question is, what do I do going forward so that whatever broke, I can either catch it when it breaks again before it becomes a problem or ensure that it doesn't break? That is the release. That's the stuff that I need to work out in this example where I said, my booking system just broke. It did not create the meeting and did not send out the Zoom link to my guest. So that's an example of taking something. Yeah, one thing is to put it back in. The bigger thing is to figure out how to make sure it doesn't happen again. Oh, however that is. That's the work to figure out. So planning how many changes I'm going to put in one release. Is it one change, two change, three changes? How many things am I going to fix? I use no more than one or two. You pick what's comfortable for you. How long between those releases? 2 weeks, 1 month, once a quarter, whatever that time frame is for you. For me, it's about every 2 weeks. The third one is now you've picked the items and you're going to plan out the steps you're going to follow. You're essentially making sometimes a very simple project plan, just a list of what you're going to do, what order you need to do it in, what has to happen first, second, third, what do you need to buy, if anything, who do you need to have help you, if anyone, who do you need to give you feedback, if anyone. For me, this example, when I put my fix in for my booking system, I'm going to have someone, probably my brother, go out to the booking system, book a tech check meeting with me, and we're going to confirm or validate that the meeting link shows up on the calendar. So those are the three steps, and is to categorize your areas of responsibility. And the reason this becomes important as the first step is you start to think about all of these points of friction and all of these parts of your life. And if you're assessing each one, your list is going to grow to be sizable. So so knowing what all of those buckets are or those categories are will help you decide which ones to tackle when. Which of those friction points is more important than another. It may be in your home or in your family, in your personal life. It may be in your business. It may be in your job, maybe in your volunteer service, wherever it is, but you can see them all together. And then your friction fixing system or task management, task app products for yourself can go through planning, doing, updating, and it doesn't become so much maintenance that you're investing more time doing maintenance than you are actually accomplishing your goals. So, with that, I wish you the best. I want you to have a great time doing it. And let me know how you apply these. Leave a comment, send an email. Let me know how it's going. I want to hear from you all. So if you have questions, go ahead, throw them in the chat right now. I want to say hello to a couple of folks who slid in as we were getting started. Hey, David Hunt, glad to have you in the building with us. And hello, Michael Fleming. So glad to have you here with us tonight and enjoying the content that we're sharing with everyone. So, gang, uh, I do want to share with you next Friday, it's Independence Day. Everybody is going to be out trying to get some fireworks and some barbecue. So, we're not going to live stream next Friday. We're gonna take the live stream day off. Go enjoy time with your family. Enjoy Independence Day in the United States, at least if you're here in the States and you're watching and you celebrate it. Enjoy the time with friends and family, including your fur babies. Um, so, David, so remember, and I'll post something to remind you that we're not going to be live. So, we did get one question. David says, how can you write down your issues when your pen is out of ink? There are a couple ways you can do it, David. Quite frankly, you can use your technology. You can grab your phone, your iPad, your computer, whatever you have, capture it that way. So you can use voice recording to capture it. You can grab a pencil, you can grab a crayon, you can grab a marker and any sheet of paper. Get some paper out of the printer and write it down. And if you do that, remember you don't want your those captures to be all over the place. You want them in one place. If you do this random capturing, then make sure you have a time where you bring all of those random notes into one place so that you don't lose them and you can see them and you can look through them when you're doing your weekly review. Your weekly review is one time a week where you're looking at your whole system. You're looking at everything, all your calendar, your project list, your task list, your notes. You're cleaning it up, refreshing it, getting it ready. So that's my answer to you. Is how do you capture you write you say write it down, but capture it. You can use a digital tool. You can use voice capture. You can use a crayon and a marker and a piece of paper out of the printer. There's no reason that you cannot capture those things that you're finding as friction as you go throughout your day. So there you go. I don't see any other questions. We're not going to belabor the time. It is short tonight. I will say thank you all again as a community for coming through last Friday, saying happy birthday to me. I really, really, really appreciate it. It means a lot. And thank you for being here today because I have enjoyed sharing this topic with you. This is probably my favorite area, which is this assessing and refining um, in everything. It is my favorite thing to do because it's where I do that. You've heard the 1% better. I'm intentional about that 1% better. It's not a general, I'm going to get 1% better. And I have no idea what the 1% is. I'm very intentional about it. So I know exactly what I've improved step by step. And I wish the same for you. So if there are no questions, I'm going to give you a second to see if you have any more questions. And if you do not, we're going to get out of here. So I'm going to let you know that. Um, Working on another video and to release, and I'm excited about it. And tonight I'm using my virtual stream deck, y'all. So it's really quite fun to play with. I'm trying some layouts before I put them on the physical stream deck. All right. There are no other questions. So I'm going to say, have a great evening. Go apply these 3 tips in your task management system. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Good night, everybody.